we've got one equation, two variables. How are we going to find our positive integers x and y? You've got some constraints to work with here, and we're going to use very clever but very unknown factorizing technique called completing the rectangle to actually solve this. So as we go about this question, you think, okay, well, we could try and guess values for x and y where this will work. That's obviously not going to last for long. Obviously, you wouldn't do that for long because it's going to be quite difficult. So we can make a common denominator here. So we get x plus y divided by xy is equal to 1 over 2. Some students would stop here and then try and think, okay, well, what x plus y adds to 1? What x times y multiplies to 2? But then, of course, 1 over 2, this could be any multiple of 1 over 2. It could be, of course, 5 over 10, 100 over 200. Like, it could be anything. So that doesn't actually help us to equate the numerators and the denominators here. So we keep going. We keep doing our algebra. We multiply both sides by our denominators. So we get 2x plus 2y is equal to xy. Okay, well, the factor the 2's out here, but we could try and take everything over to the same side. So I'm moving 2x and 2y over to the other side, then swapping it around. Minus 2x minus 2y is equal to 0. Then how do we factorize this, though? What can we do to factorize this? So this is when we use the technique completing the rectangle. Or we can factorize this into x minus 2 times y minus 2, and that gives us x times y minus 2y minus 2x. But it also gives us a plus 4. Minus 2 times minus 2 is positive 4. So we're going to have to subtract 4 away from this to make sure that it's still equal to the same thing as above. So then we find that x minus 2 times y minus 2 is equal to 4. And now we can just consider the factor pairs that make this true. Of course, the only positive factors of 4 are 1 and 4 or 2 and 2. So either we have that this bracket is 4 and this is 1, or the other way around, or we have 2 and 2, in which case we would get our variables to be x would be 6 and y would be 3, or the other way around, or we get the variables of 4 and 4. And thus we have found all of the positive pairs of integers x, y that satisfy this equation. If you want to see why this is called completing the rectangle, see if you can draw the rectangle, you get the visual geometric intuition of this factorization technique. If you like this, save it, share it with a friend.